Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. I don't know about what it's like where you are, but the conditions are horrible here. Oh, man, it is horrific. The only thing we can do is pray the power don't go out because they have warned us if power goes out, we could be out for days, even weeks. That's how bad it is. And it really has deteriorated horribly overnight. It started around here at 4 a.m. That's when we start seeing the first signs of snow, but it ain't letting up. It is going strong out here. And I mean, the accumulation is fast. Even when I went out I stepped out briefly, like around 10. It was already, I would say, it was probably already a good 2 inches on the ground by then. And it is coming fast. So, y'all, if you are in any of the 34 states that are impacted, stay safe, stay in, stay off the streets because it is getting treacherous out there for real. It really is. So, I also want to make another announcement. I am having a flash sale over on TikTok on 12 Tribe products. And the flash sale means that it's 50% off as long as I'm live. So if you're looking to get, some money off of your hair products, that's the place to be. I'm only gonna be on for about a half hour, so you got a half hour to grab the products you want for 50% off. I already posted in the community tab, so you should see it over there. It will be at 4:45 PM. So I figure since I'm in and I have a lot of these products on hand now, so we'll have a 50% off sale for a half hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Alex Pretti. He is the latest victim that was unalived by ICE. It is always sad to see someone lose their life, but I'm not going to forget. And don't tell me to move forward because I saw what some of y'all were writing out there. When our people raised the issue of how our folks got unalived by police for years. And whenever we would complain, they should have complied. So maybe Alex Pretti should have complied. See, it don't feel good when someone say all that stuff. Now you know what it feels like. Oh, well, did he follow the commands of ICE? Did he follow their commands? You know, now all of a sudden you lost two. We lost thousands probably if you tally up all the centuries of our people getting unalive by the police, and you're crying over two. And yes, they're still on this, oh, black people need to come out. No, we don't. No, we don't. And it doesn't matter if it comes out of a white mouth, a Latino mouth, an Asian mouth. It doesn't matter. We already told you we're sitting this one out. What y'all want the white people, the Latinos, and all of you folks, the Somalians, you want us to be your human shields. We're not going to be that. Y'all need to get this crap out of your mind. We are not coming out to be anybody's human shield. You figure if we're out there, you don't have to take the brunt of what ICE is bringing you right now. See, y'all don't like it. We didn't like it either when the cops kept coming at us like that. Everything that happened to Alex Pretti and Renee Good happened to my people thousands of times over. And y'all were never this vocal. This is the most vocal I have ever seen y'all online. And that's only because the people look just like you. Didn't the Most High said when these things start happening to you, he would be laughing at your calamity? Oh, you're angry? Some of y'all are screaming on the video. Some of y'all are breaking down and crying on the videos. Oh, I done seen it all over there. But see, and guess what, y'all? Check this out. Check this out. They're sitting up there talking about defund ICE. But see, when we said defund the police, y'all had an issue with it. But now y'all running around talking about some defund ICE. But let me tell you something. Donald Trump ain't gonna defund ICE. He just gave them absolute power. Isn't he? Absolute immunity. Isn't that the words Stephen Miller and Donald Trump used? ICE has absolute immunity. So anytime he gave them absolute immunity, that means he's not defunding them. In fact, Donald Trump, didn't he just recently throw all kinds of funding at them? And y'all, they don't care who they hire for ICE. I was listening to one interview and they said one woman, they interviewed her for 6 minutes, 6 minutes, and gave her the job. So they don't care who they pick up. This is where all them Proud Boys went. You notice you don't see the Proud Boys anymore running their mouth out here? No, because they're part of ICE. They're all on ICE now. That's why they don't have no feeling about taking you out, especially if they think you're a liberal. They think you're expendable. If you are white and liberal, these folks think you're expendable. They think nothing about taking you out. If you're out there protesting, they're assuming you're a liberal and you're expendable. They don't care about you. They never see. This is what we were trying to tell you years ago when you were sitting around laughing at our deaths. We were telling you they don't give a damn about you either, but you didn't want to hear it. No, you wanted to believe as long as them folks are getting it, you don't give a damn. And that's all the more reason why our people should never join you. Because if you didn't have no concern when it was happening to us, why the hell should we be concerned that it's happening to you? And don't come to us with that. Forget about all of that. We need to come to, no, we ain't gonna forget shit. The damage is done. We ain't forgetting nothing. Because I see some of y'all are on that too. Oh, we should just forget and just, no, we ain't forget nothing. Let me just make that clear. Nothing is going to be forgotten about what you did, what you said, how you came on the videos laughing, mocking the death of Trayvon, calling it Trayvoning. We ain't going to forget about none of your shit. So don't even come with that. We ain't forgetting shit. This is your fight. This is the system you set up. You loved it as long as it was running the way you want. You were being favored up in here. You loved it then. The system was great. Oh, don't be hating on it now. This is the way you wanted it. As long as we were getting our asses kicked out here, you were satisfied. So don't come crying now. They are outdone that 2 of theirs got taken out. They just can't believe it. No, see, the Most High took a long time to bring you this judgment, but he brought it. And you know what the sad part is? Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem are showing no emotion about the white death that just happened at the hands of ICE. They're showing no emotion. You know who else they did that to? Us. Whenever our people were taken out, y'all gladly went on TV to show zero emotion about our fallen. You did over and over and over and over. And you showed our deaths on a 24/7 cycle. And see, now that's being done to them, y'all. That's being done. Their deaths are now being shown on a 24-hour. Oh, they can't stand it. Oh, honey, they can't stand it. Their deaths are being shown on a 24/7 cycle. See, they thought that was just for us. They thought it was just for us. It was not for anyone else. Now, your lynchings are going to be shown. You know how many times I saw the video of Renee Good being shot in the face? I saw that thing multiple times. Not on purpose, but people were putting it in their videos, so I ended up seeing it a lot when I was watching the videos out there. But see, now you are being shown on a 24/7 cycle. And I've saw Alex Pretti, multiple times last night when it happened. I saw that thing multiple times. It don't feel good, does it? It don't feel good. And now the people that did this to you are showing no emotion about taking them white people out. That's how we felt all this time. You're just getting around to it. Whenever we would try to explain how we felt, we got met with laughter. We got met with mocking. We got met with they should have complied. Oh, what happened before the cameras turned on? And now, oh, can we say that about the ones that, oh, well, what happened before y'all turned them cameras on? Oh, you don't want to hear that now, right? We didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to hear it. And you didn't care. You didn't care. So now, y'all, I even saw a Antifa guy that said he lived a few blocks away from where that happened, and he was part of Antifa. He was on TikTok calling for a civil war with ICE. Yes, he was. All I have to say is, see, if you would have stood up when it was happening to us, things would be different now. But you wouldn't say a word. When we said defund the police, y'all were railing again. Oh, we need the police. We don't need your police. That's the thing. Let's just say this the right way. We don't need your police. But see, when they were functioning like that, you were fine with the whole thing. Now ICE is out here. And technically, they are functioning the same brutal way your cops have been functioning out here. It just wasn't directed towards you the way that it is now. See, these folks hate white liberals probably as much as they hate us. And see, they, like I said, they don't feel nothing when they're taking these people out. And I'm gonna let you listen to the way Christy Naum talked about taking this life like it was absolutely nothing. They just took a nobody out as far as she's concerned. And I was hearing Alex Pretti, his family are pissed at the way the Trump administration are talking about Alex. Well, we were pissed at the way y'all were talking about us. Your media was defending Every single cop that took us out, your media was out there doing that front and center. We were pissed. And y'all kept right on doing it. It didn't matter if it was a child or an adult in our community. Your media justified it all. Y'all acted as defense attorneys for the police. Y'all all did. The people did. The media did. The politicians did. All of you acted as defense attorneys for whatever cop took us out. So, no, I haven't changed my mind at all. Stay out of it, family. They created this monster. Their law, because ICE is law enforcement. Their law enforcement is acting just the way they loved it all this time. Stay out of it. This is the way you wanted it. You just didn't think it was going to turn on you, but we told you for decades, whatever they do to us will come and haunt you. It was going to happen to you. Everything. And we tried to tell you that. So no, this is your fight and your fight alone. So y'all get on out there and keep hollering and protesting and whatever you got planned for ICE, you on your own with that mess. You're on your own. This is your system. Your people are the ones in charge of this system. Fix it. Fix it. It's up to y'all to fix this mess. It's never been up to us, but it definitely is up to y'all. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started, y'all. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Why was Alex Pretti involved in a targeted operation that had absolutely nothing to do with him? This shooting in Minnesota is an absolute mindfuck, you guys. The story is changing as the details are unfolding. Did Alex Pretti involve himself in police business? Was he obstructing justice? Was he impeding upon an arrest? Alex Pretti, 37-year-old ICU nurse of Minnesota, U.S. citizen. What was he doing? What was he thinking? Facts remain until it's changed. Department of Homeland Security were in the midst of a targeted operation. They were going after an undocumented man, presumably 51 years old, that had committed a violent assault. Somewhere in there, Alex Pretti approached the officers. He was armed. This is going to be one hell of an investigation. The left is already spinning this story. They will never tell the whole truth. They will never share what Alex was doing with a loaded gun and all up in police business. They won't share that part.
He was peaceful and well within his rights to hold his camera and record what federal agents were doing. When he was attacked, he was pepper sprayed at point blank range, and then he was tackled by 5 or 6 federal agents. They then disarmed him of something that he was carrying legally with a license, and only then, after he was disarmed with 5 or 6 people on top of him, getting, I don't know, pistol whipped or hit with maybe a can of OC spray, it was only then, when he had his face towards the ground and multiple people on top of him, that he was executed. But he wasn't just executed. They kept firing after he was clearly limp, after he was clearly lifeless. They kept dumping rounds into his body as he was face down, stone cold dead. You've seen the videos. You've heard the videos. You heard how long it was between the first shot, which might have been an accidental discharge by the very person who disarmed that man, and the amount of time between the last shot. When everybody else had already cleared away, they kept shooting. The Department of Homeland Security, Stephen Miller, the White House are branding this man a terrorist. Alex Pretti was a patriot. doing his patriotic duty. He was an ICU nurse who served veterans, critically ill veterans. He was murdered by cowards who, if they had done this in a combat zone wearing a U.S. military uniform, they'd be court-martialed and they'd spend the rest of their lives in jail. It is not enough to simply abolish ICE. We need to prosecute ICE. Every one of these masked thugs need to be prosecuted. You see, the White House, Pam Bondi and the DOJ, they're getting cute saying they're going to use the KKK Act to prosecute peaceful protesters. Well, you know what? The KKK Act, it includes provisions about how even if a federal agent is acting within the color of law to strip someone of their civil rights, they can be prosecuted under the KKK Act. So you want to talk about the KKK Act? Let's talk about it, because this is what we're going to be using. This is what the next administration needs to use to prosecute not just ICE, but everyone at Department of Homeland Security and everyone at DOJ who is enabling the stripping of civil rights and the murder of Americans and immigrants. Because you know what? If you're on American soil, the American Constitution protects you. You don't have to be born here. It's called the rule of law. We are supposed to be a nation based in laws. That is what the Constitution is. Look, I understand that you might be scared, terrified, exhausted right now, and that's okay because you're human. But let me share a hard truth with you. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. And the only way that they're ever going to get better is if more people step up and fight. And that doesn't necessarily mean going out and confronting ICE in the street. Doesn't necessarily mean protesting. If you have the resources to give to soup kitchens and pantries that are distributing food and necessary supplies to terrified families in Minnesota right now. If you have nothing else but the phone in your hand right now that you're using to watch this video, please engage in videos that talk about this. Just simply showing the algorithm that this is important, that people care about this, that people want justice, that is not nothing. You are participating in a real resistance. If you are planning to go out and observe ICE, I want you to do me a favor. And if you have the resources to do this, please buy yourself a body cam or a GoPro, something that you can wear so that you can keep both of your hands free as you observe them. As you've seen in a bunch of videos, when you get pepper sprayed, if you're trying to take care of your phone before they tackle you, like, you're in for some trouble. I know not everybody has the money to spend a few $100 on something like a GoPro and a chest harness to wear it on. But if you have these resources and you're going to do that, that will help you at least a little bit. If you are going to carry, never carry behind you. If you're going to carry, make sure that you are taking courses, self-defense classes that will teach you how to responsibly handle this type of equipment. And just keep in mind that these maniacs, these ICE thugs, are looking for any reason, any excuse to murder more Americans. So if you are going to be armed, please know that if they can put their hands on you at any point for any reason, that could be a death sentence. Not one that you deserve, but one that they will try to impose on you.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
You just made claims that the individual posed a threat to law enforcement. I guess
that is no claim. It is the facts. The facts of this situation. This individual showed up to a law enforcement operation with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition. He wasn't there to peacefully protest. He was there to perpetuate violence. And he was asked to show up and to continue to resist by a governor who's irresponsible and has a long history of corruption and lying.
The White House has labeled the man who was killed in Minnesota as a domestic terrorist. Is that something you agree with? And have you seen any evidence to
when
back
you
up that claim?
perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition.
Y'all, they are outdone that their own people is trashing. She ain't even getting behind this dead dude, Alex Pretti. She ain't getting behind him at all. I never thought I would see this day coming, but this day is here. They are taking their own out and not giving a crap about it, y'all. And she is showing you right here, front and center.
of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts. We are focused specifically on child pedophiles and sexual assault and trafficking rings in Minneapolis, have brought dozens and dozens of them to justice. Why is he protecting them and refusing to work with us? This individual impeded the law enforcement officers and attacked them. State the facts as they unfolded on the street today. We were doing a targeted operation against an illegal criminal, and this individual came with a weapon and dozens of rounds of ammunition and attacked them. And these agents took action to defend their lives and to defend the lives of the people around them, and acted according to their training. And we will continue to let this process go forward and not allow people like Governor Walz and Mayor Frey to lie about what actually unfolded on that street. It appears that they want this lawlessness to continue. It appears that they want chaos to distract from the theft and the fraud and the corruption of their city.
Is the president closer to invoking the Insurrection Act?
The president will use every tool that he needs to follow through on his promises to the American people. I'm proud to work for a president that wants to keep people safe, and he recognizes that political individuals like Governor Walz and Mayor Frey need to be met head on with recognizing that we're not going to allow them to distract us from what they facilitated for corruption in their state. We're going to treat Minneapolis exactly the way that we have treated every other city across this country.
Stop! Look out! Damn! Chill. Okay. I'm fine. I didn't even breathe anything. I'm just angry. I'm 7 years old. Angry.
What we just saw this morning on the streets of Minneapolis is another outright murder by federal officials. And let me just be clear. Those federal ICE officers are absolute cowards. I'm a Marine veteran standing here telling you to your face, they are unprofessional, pathetic cowards. Because if a Marine, an 18-year-old Marine, did that in Iraq in the middle of a war zone, he would be court-martialed because it is murder. And you pathetic little cowards who have to wear face masks.
We said that about your cops. We told you your cops were cowards. The ones that were taking us out unarmed, they were cowards. And you know what y'all said? Well, the police got a hard job. They just want to make it home to their families. That's what you said to us. Oh, they just want to make it home to their families, which is the dumbest thing ever. Who the hell leaves their house and not want to make it back home to their damn family? But that's the idiotic stuff y'all were saying to us. Everybody that leaves their house want to make it back to their family. There's not a living soul that don't want to do that. That does not just belong to police officers. But that's the stuff you were saying. But when we said they were cowards, they were incompetent, they were low lives, we were saying that, you didn't want to hear it. You said they want to make home to their families. Okay? Well, I'm never going to forget that. But listen to how he's talking about ICE. Is he saying anything that's different from what we said? Hell no.
So damn scared, couldn't even effectively wrestle a guy to the ground, so you needed to shoot him. This is why ICE needs to be prosecuted. Yeah, I voted to defund it, but ICE, you need to be prosecuted. And Director Lyons, who's running ICE right now, I hope you're hearing this from this Marine to you. You guys are criminal thugs. You need to be held accountable to the law if you think you can enforce it. And you need to be prosecuted right now.
So DHS posted a photo of a gun. We know that. You guys want to see something that other creators have found out? Yeah, it's not the real gun. They just Google imaged a photo. The photo's fake. It's just a...
And you know what, y'all? They're right. But I want y'all to think about this. How many times did we watch videos of cops planting evidence on us? How many times have we seen it? I've seen them. And I know many of you have seen the videos of cops actually planting evidence in our people's cars, putting drugs in their pockets while they're on the ground, sometimes even dead on the ground, and they're throwing a taser on them and then trying to act like, well, they came at me with a taser, and be just lying. So what the ICE agents did was took a picture of a weapon, and they are outdone that they're literally planting a fake gun, a picture. At least it's just a picture. Y'all use real drugs that you got from some evidence room, and you took it out in the field on your job to plant on my people. Okay? That's what you did to us. So the fact that they put some fake gun and said, this is the gun that Alex, now you getting a dose of your own medicine. Now you know what it feels like. Let's go on.
Common image. That's not even the gun that was used or owned by Alex. They can't even post real stuff. They just made up lies and posted a basic Google image of what they said they thought the weapon was. People that are still believing this administration, when time and time again, we prove them wrong, and we prove that they are doing stuff like this, just pulling it right off of the internet. They're not even posting real photos. Why do you still believe them at this point? The photo was a basic photo. 5 days ago, that same picture was used on Reddit. 5 days ago. But that's the photo they pulled off of Alex. That's the weapon they pulled off of Alex. Yeah, okay.
You got buried. Yeah, unroll your windows. No, you're straight inside.
So this is the person who fired the first pew pew. When this was taken from the victim, this was the first one. And at this point, you can go to this account, Midas Touch, and it will show you this video. And right when it goes to like delay, it has a delay in it, you will see this. Okay. So whoever this is was the one who the first, and it went into the ground, and then they all started doing it. So check it out and tell me if you see what I see.
Yeah, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus has sent us a statement. We do want to share it with you. It says in part, despite widespread speculation regarding intent, there has been no evidence produced indicating an intent to harm the officers. We're calling for a full and transparent investigation by both state and federal authorities. Every peaceable Minnesotan has the right to keep and bear arms.
Talking about Alex Pretti right there. Yes. So they are saying,
you know what, y'all? So this is another thing they're mad about. They're investigating themselves. Remember, we complained about that same thing? The cops take one of us out, right? And then they investigate themselves and find themselves not guilty, find no wrongdoing in the whole thing. And see, this is another thing that's bothering them. They're investigating themselves when it comes down to Renee Good and Alex Pretti, and they are outdone about this. Hey, this is exactly all the things that happen to us. I'm just saying. Let's go on.
they do not have any sense of intent.
Breaking news, the NRA has released a statement on Twitter speaking out against the comments made by the Trump administration. This is a very short statement, but it is in reference to that quote from the U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, who had said that if you approach law enforcement with a gun, there is a high likelihood they will be legally justified in shooting you. Don't do it. The NRA said in response, this sentiment from the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California is dangerous and wrong. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigations, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens. Other groups have spoken out against this as well, including Gun Owners of America, who said they are saddened by the loss of life in Minneapolis. They also condemned the attorney's comments. We also have the editor-in-chief of The Reload saying this is an insane claim. And he's clearly a right-wing guy. And here's another right-wing guy speaking out against this. Breaking news, the NRA has released a statement on Twitter speaking out against the comments made by the Trump administration. This is a very short statement, but it is in reference to that quote from the U.S. attorney for the against this.
A big legal development following the shooting of Alex Pretti in Minnesota. I'm Morgan Wolf, a local news anchor in Minneapolis. NBC News is reporting that a federal judge has ordered Trump administration officials and federal agencies to preserve all evidence connected to the shooting that happened on Saturday, specifically barring them from destroying or altering anything taken from the scene. This comes after Minnesota state officials filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court saying that federal agents removed evidence and placed it into exclusive federal custody. The state attorney general, along with the Hennepin County Attorney's Office and the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, argue that without this order, Minnesota would suffer irreparable harm in its ability to investigate what happened and enforce state criminal laws. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty says that her office has jurisdictions to review the incident for potential criminal conduct conducted by federal agents involved, and they plan to do so. The Department of Homeland Security has not yet responded publicly. A hearing is scheduled for Monday in federal court.
People asked me to come on and talk today about the killing of Alex Pretti in Minneapolis today, and I'm happy to do that. As I always tell you, I'm happy to come on if something big happens, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough of the story that I wasn't simply screaming, oh my God, this happened. And so since it happened, I've actually, if you watch me this morning, you will see I'm wearing exactly the same clothes, including the same coat I had on during this morning's broadcast, because I haven't really gotten up since then. Which is not, of course, how any of us expected to spend today. So let me start in on what we know happened. And then I will tell you a little bit about what the larger story is and perhaps what we can do. And I want to be clear, I am incensed. I am furious beyond articulation. So if I seem very flat today, it is because of that fury. All right. So what we know happened today, and I've written everything down so I would get it right, is that at least 7 federal agents this morning at about 9 o'clock local time shot and killed Alex Jeffrey Pretti. He was a 37-year-old man who was an ICU nurse at the local VA hospital. Now, you will note there that I said federal agents. I did not say ICE. It is not clear right now from what agency they came. And it looks, again, remember, everything I'm saying is very new. It looks as if he was not an ICE agent, but the shooters were not ICE agents, but were rather from Customs and Border Patrol. And that I've told you about before. That is a division of another agency that has been infamous for its out of control violent recklessness. That's the agency that is headed by Gregory Bovino. And it looks as if they're the actual shooters, not ICE. We tend to use ICE or Immigration and Customs Enforcement as a catch-all for all the federal agents. But let me remind you yet again that the Department of Homeland Security actually has a number of pockets of agents that it can use. And while ICE is the biggest, has the most people in it, the most violent currently appear to be those from Customs and Border Patrol. All right, so as always these days, there was video of the shooting, a number of different angles on the shooting. And it is easy, if you see them, to put together what happened. There are a number of videos, as I say, and one of the earliest ones starts with Pretti on a street in Minneapolis, directing traffic around an area where there are ICE agents. There are not a lot of people there. It's not a huge crowd, but there are definitely people on the street. Oh, and by the way, there are definitely people on the street. I don't recommend that you watch these. These are very, very hard videos. The agents begin to harass a person near Pretti. And I'm not making any assumptions about names or anything at this point, because that's still a little, at least to me, not clear. She is the person is pushed to the ground by an ICE agent And Pretti reaches down to help her back up. As he does that, a federal agent shoots pepper spray into his face. He has a camera in one hand, and with the pepper spray, he lifts up his hand to block the pepper spray. Agents then pull him to the ground from behind him, and they begin to hit him. And there are, it looks to be 7 of them. He doesn't really appear to be fighting back. You're seeing people talk about a struggle and so on. To me, it looks like he's trying to keep his head off the ground. He keeps trying to push himself up to keep his head off the ground, which of course is something you would likely want to do if you're being jumped by 7 people. During that struggle, as Pretti is faced.
Today is another very sad day in American history because another American citizen has been murdered on the streets of Minneapolis by an ICE agent. Now, this murder was captured on, I've seen 4 different vantage points of what happened, and to me, it is just a clear case of cold-blooded murder. I'm ashamed to be an American, knowing that our Congress is allowing what is going on and nobody is putting a stop to this. But in the video, it shows a woman that is recording being shoved to the ground by an ICE agent and pepper sprayed. It shows a man kind of rushing in to come to her aid. He puts an arm out to assist her getting up, help her up, and he is then shoved to the ground and pepper sprayed a couple of times. Before several ICE agents rush in and take this man violently to the ground. There's several punches thrown at him while he is clearly detained on the ground, when out of nowhere another ICE agent is seen backing up shooting, and there were several shots. I'm guesstimating at 8 to 10, I'm not sure, but he lays there just obviously deceased, and there's the shooting. It's brazen, it's disgusting, and a coup needs to happen against Donald Trump. We need like retired generals or somebody that can actually do something, but somebody needs to come in and get in there and get him out of office along with his administration, because the United States, we're going downhill like at a fucking rapid pace, and it is because of that piece of shit.
Well, I don't agree with her. Y'all voted him in. So no, let Donald Trump ride out his 4 years. You voted for this man. All right? And he said what he was going to do. Mass deportation was discussed all over the campaign trail. He told you what the intentions were. You know, it's just like them old idiot Latinos running around here talking about they voted for Donald Trump. They thought he was only going to go after the criminals. Well, if you are here illegally, you are all criminals in their eyes. Okay, if you are here and you're a foreigner, in their eyes, you're all illegal. You're all criminals. That's what you don't get. And look, y'all, she talking about some generals need to go in there. No general is going to go in there and take out Donald Trump. Y'all voted him in. All right, it's people like you that voted Donald Trump in. He ain't going nowhere. Y'all going to just sit and cry and whine and talk about how horrible this is. And at the end of the day, Donald Trump is still going to be the sitting president up in here. You just don't like that he has turned on all of you. That's what you can't comprehend. He is a white president, and y'all are a bunch of white people, and you can't believe he has turned on you. That's what you can't get over. But hey, that day has arrived. And see, when you give somebody absolute immunity, I told you the bodies were going to start stacking up. And that's exactly what's happening. One of many ancestral shadows. Thank you so much for the super chat. So-called patriots are cowards. Yes, they are indeed. They most certainly are. And thank you for your support for my channel. Y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you. This is kind of running into my next live, but that's okay. I'm going to get that one started probably in the next 10 minutes. And don't forget, I have my flash sale over on TikTok. The link can be found in the community tab. If you come over, you can get products for 50% off. So I will see you there. I will see you on my next live. Everybody stay safe and stay out of this bad weather. Shalom, family.